Mike check. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Hector. Good to see
Yes,
you
sir.
again, my friend.
Good to see you, bro.
Hey. So we're gonna kick it off. I'm gonna kick it off with the intro, man, and you guys already know. In order to take accountability for what has passed and what will be, there's no time like presently. So, for all of those who have ears and mouths, can I have a moment of your time? We want to gain some perspective. Can we have a piece of your mind?
Hey,
All right, Heck. So where we left off last time? You said it was accountability, right?
accountability, man. We talked about it.
Accountability.
We practiced it. We gave examples. I know we did some of this week. We did talk about having an intro and outro, and to all our fans out there, our incoming fans and those that already are. We don't have it ready yet, but we're cooking it. We're cooking it up right now. I promise y'all. I got my homeboy Joseph Hart working on that. Big shout out to the homie for hooking us up.
Word.
It's in production, y'all, and it's gonna be cool. We are really excited about that. So
Hey,
stay tuned because it's
if,
gonna come.
hey, we giving out shout outs early, man. I'm gonna give a shout out to all one of our TikTok followers, all one of y'all. All right, thank you.
All one of you. Thank
We
you.
just getting
Thank you.
started
Thank
on
you.
TikTok. Me nor Hector had a TikTok prior to starting Piece of Your Mind, but we can't wait to see what happens with it, man.
Oh
You,
yeah. And
yeah,
on top of that too, all the views that we've been able to go ahead and get, even on just the YouTube channel, all the views we've been able to get on the Spotify. Thank you so much, everybody that has tuned in. Thank you for everybody. Big thank you to all those that gave us critique. We love that. And as Frankie had said, we want to be transparent. We want this to be a podcast where we continue to grow. And so while Frankie and I are consistently working on this, we want to thank you guys out there for being willing to listen and give that constructive criticism because we want it, we need it, and this is gonna grow, and we're excited about it, man.
yeah. Super excited, man. You know, it's funny. I guess I'm learning. I'm still learning about my best friend over here, man. Clearly he's an analytics guy, man. So with the numbers, with the like, I go on social media and I try my best not to get distracted by anything. You know what I mean? When I have a goal or something to focus on when I go in there, I try to get there because I'll get lost scrolling. Like, I can't speak for everybody else, but me, I'll get lost. Yo, what was I supposed to be doing again? So I've been seeing things pop up about the numbers and the views, and it wasn't until like middle of the week Hector really brought it to my attention. Like, yo, Frank, man, did you see the numbers on this one? Did you see the numbers on that one? And it was really, yo, guys. 2 weeks ago, we didn't know what would happen. We didn't know what
Mhm.
would come from this. We didn't know who would be tuning in, if it's gonna resonate. You know what I mean? And it's dope. It's just dope to see the action. I'm seeing more action on these videos than I ever seen in a post my whole life. And I've been on Facebook. I've been on let's go back first into Facebook. I've been on MySpace before analytics, right? So yeah, it's definitely exciting, man. And thank you guys, man. We like to start with gratitude anyway, so thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank
Um,
you.
so we left off on accountability this
Hmm.
week. Let's do the fill-in. Let's just start with the fill-in. You want to go first, Hector, or me?
Go ahead, pick it up, bro.
All
Bring us
right,
in.
so filling in. So of course, as you guys know, we're working and growing and learning and going as we, just everything as we go. I got we both got the podcast we're trying to grow on this, so it's always something new to learn, especially since we're both new to this. And then I also have my handyman business, which Hector is my accountability for as well. You know what I mean? He has to hear from me all week, man. I be having ideas, I be learning new things, and we take the topic, we put it in the circle, we put it in the middle of the circle, and we start kicking it around. All right. And
Beat that shit up.
it's been a pretty exciting week. Everything's paced, right?
Mm.
You gotta I mean, I don't want to you take your time. You want to get everything right the first time, but it's I feel like I got some direction now, man. And you know what? I'm gonna share with you guys at some point about this guy I talked to. I don't remember the name of the company. I don't remember his name, but I'm gonna stay in touch with him. he was like the first person I called. And mind you, being in business, you see a lot of commercials, you see a lot of advertisement, and they all tell you, yo, this is the thing you've been waiting for. This is the missing piece. This is the missing link. They get you all. They're really good at what they do, man. They be getting me, bro. Be sucking me right in, man.
Oh yeah.
I just joined this 2 weeks ago. I joined this 5-day challenge, man, and I'm sitting in this thing. It was for free too. I'm sitting in this thing for 5 days, man. 5 days, and long story short, it ended up being an avenue. I took a wrong turn, guys. I went a long way, but unfortunately, it was the wrong way. J. Cole. Yeah, I took a wrong turn, but anyway, I talked to this gentleman who I also called to see if I could get some help. He asked me where I was at. He went through my webpage real quick. He said, "Look, bro, you don't need to worry about nothing right now. Optimize your social media. Like that should be your main focus. You don't need no help from nobody until you make an X amount of dollars. Like, you know what I mean? And you can make X amount of dollars just utilizing your social media. Something better not be calling me for no ride, man. I apologize. But you can use your social media to grow. So focus on that." So I was really appreciative, man. I really appreciate it because everybody else, you call them and it's just they want to close with you. It's about closing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's business, but it's just about closing. And you end up closing with these guys. You're with them for a few months, and then it don't really get you nowhere. And mind you, I have some experiences. We could go through that joint some other time, but I'm really excited. I have some direction right now. Is optimizing my website. I've been working on that, again, slow paced. Um, as far as the podcast go, we've been focused on putting out more content, writing some decent descriptions. We're learning about getting, being more engaging. We have some ideas for the podcast, which whatever, I'll share it with you, man. Eventually we want to start a Facebook group, guys. We want to start a Facebook group that we can get really interactive with. And I'm going to use I plan on using the Facebook group as my personal business journal. I'm going to write down maybe my overall goals that I want for my business. Then we're going to write down small goals that we want for our business. That's me, whoever else is in the group, and that's how we're going to end up being able to keep track of how everybody's doing. If we ever, I don't know what we're going to do with it, but if we're ever like on the show and we just want to, we get somebody who say, hey, they want to talk about something, we're going to go through our group. We're going to hit the search thing. We're going to put the person's name up. Everything's going to come up that they ever put up there as a goal. We're going to see where they at. If they look like they stuck, we're going to have a conversation. Like, why, where are you stuck? Why are you stuck? We need to find time. How are we going to figure out time? You know what I mean? Time. Well, I want to make time my friend, but time is always an enemy. Hence why we're behind on the intro and the outro. You know what I mean? There ain't enough time in the day, but that's one of the ideas
enough.
we have. We plan on growing on, and I'll let Hector share the other idea with you because we're gonna have a little segment for it a little later. But that's all. That's about it for me, man. I'm just trying to optimize my page. I've done for my handyman business. We're gonna do the same thing for the podcast. And you know what? So one of the things for optimizing is a profile picture. They want, the customers want to see your face. They don't want to see your logo. They want to see your face. This is a tip for anybody out there who may not know, okay? They want to see your face. They want to know who you're. A small business. They don't know about you. Your logo don't mean nothing to them. Not yet, okay? So they want to know who they're dealing with. You put out content out there. It's not about the logo. It's about who are you? You got to humanize your profile. So they told me I need to take some real clear face shots. And I'm not, believe it or not, I'm not a fan of cameras. I don't mind being on video and moving around in it, but sitting still and staring at the screen, that's not really my thing. But so for 3 days I've been pushing that off. But last night I went crazy. Okay, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take 100 shots. I'm gonna take 100 shots, and one of them got to. If 50 could take 9 shots and still be alive, man, I could take 100 and find 2 that's gonna work for me. All right.
I like it.
No, Hector, what you had going on all week, man?
Yeah, well, first off, Frank, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm happy to hear that, because we talk a lot, like you was telling these people, we talk a lot for sure, and I do believe in the short term goal. We talked about that last week. We talked about short term goals and how they just keep you moving, how they keep you going, and those short term goals essentially keep the long term goal in sight. It makes it easier to travel that road. So big ups to you, Frank, for doing that. Um, as far as what I've been working on, gosh, I've been focusing a lot on the podcast this last week. As been said, I do have a 9 to 5. I like my job.
Yeah.
Completely different than what we're doing here, but it pays the bills. I always kill it at my job. I like it there. But as far as the podcast goes, yeah, this week was a lot of like kind of technical things. We were making sure we have um, all the necessary licenses and subscriptions set up, making sure that our audio quality is a little better than it was. For those of you that did stick through episode 1 and made it through episode 2 as well,
Hey,
you guys probably noticed a difference. And,
hey,
and
hey,
get
I
it, get
want to
it.
shout out Hector's uncle, man. I'm gonna just call him uncle, okay? There's an uncle I haven't met yet. I'm a nephew he don't know about yet, man. But shout out uncle. He gave us a little. Gave us a little push and encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
For the episode, he told us if we make sure we dropping consistently every week, he will listen. Hey, man,
Yep.
all we need is one. That's all we need is to
Yep.
start. For
Yep.
the start, we started right.
That's it. And
I'm
that's
sorry,
Uncle
Hector. Go ahead,
Rob.
man.
So no, you good. I appreciate that. Uncle Rob, man. That's you. Again, thank you for that critique. But yeah, just kind of staying on the podcast, making sure again, like getting the licenses, getting the subscriptions, getting all that good stuff going because as we do make this part of our weekly routine to deliver content to all of you out there, we want to make it a show. We want to make it entertaining. We want to set a whole vibe. So when you guys come here, you come kick it on Sunday with us. We want y'all to smile when you come in and smile when you leave. And hopefully that smile brings you into Monday and you kill it on Monday. No
Word,
problem. That's the whole
word.
plan. So I've been putting in that time on the podcast, just trying to, take care of some of the background stuff. And a lot of it is requiring communication with Frankie, with other individuals that I have set up with, just to kind of gain, inspiration as far as like what we're talking about, what we're doing, some structure, yada yada. There's a whole lot that goes into it, y'all. And we're learning along the way. Um, but this process isn't impossible. And I've mentioned it. I've got a man right here that's got so much passion that makes this an easy thing to do. It's my brother from a childhood, man. So this is something that I want to do, and I want it to be good. I want it to be quality. And like Frankie said, I am an analytics guy. I like looking at the numbers. I like seeing the facts. That stuff. It's
One of us
interesting
got
to
to do
me.
it.
Somebody got to do it. Right, right. And I don't mind being that one, man. And so like looking at up all the numbers and oh man, look how many plays we got on YouTube, and look at how many plays this particular post got, or how many subscribers and listeners, and all that is so incredible. So it makes it feel worth it. Um, on my own separate personal journey, slow boat. You guys, Frankie mentioned it. About the stories and all that. Um, I have worked on a little bit. I do have a character that I'm really trying to develop in one of my stories. He's my favorite character. I won't talk about him, but I tell you that he exists in my mind, and there are a few people that are within my circle that know of him, that have heard of him. And for me, at least in this story, he's going to be the best character in there. Now, all the characters I'm going to put in, they're going to be great, but this guy is going to stand out because this guy is essentially what it means to be human, and it's in the best essence of it. And I'm really trying to focus on that character. And so this past week and the past several weeks, I've been able to kind of work on that and develop that. And so I know with Frankie kind of pushing me along, and I've got some other people that decided to be my accountability partners as well for the story. They have pushed and have asked to see edits and see different stories and things come up. So I'm really appreciative of that. Um, but yeah, y'all, beyond that, I mean, gosh, we're here. We're putting in work. I'm glad you guys have tuned in, and I'm ready to kick the topic, Frank.
Hey, before we kick the topic, wait, hold on, because I want to say this. I'm his accountability partner, right? But it's only 24 hours in a day, guys. It's only
Mm-hmm.
24 hours in a day. Give If you guys decide to pick up an accountability partner, give your accountability partner some grace, man. give yourself some grace. Don't forget to give
Yes.
yourself some grace, man. This is not it's not a sprint, okay? You don't gotta be Usain Bolt. All right.
The
This is a marathon. All right. This is the long haul.
long
And
haul.
think life is always lifing, right? That's what they say, right? Life is
Yeah.
always lifing, man. We could be on our way to drop the podcast, and then man, we got a flat tire. Next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock at night, man. It
Yeah. It
happens.
happened.
So
It happens.
remember to give yourself some grace. I'm gonna definitely give Hector some grace. When I say Hector been grinding it out, man. He been grinding it out for this podcast, man. And we both been doing our thing. We're trying to learn as we grow
Hmm.
and go as we grow and learn. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
um, we've been running into some other things we're thinking about doing. Like for example, um, how we're gonna put out our content. We wanna learn how to schedule them as opposed to
Hmm.
doing them day to day, just to kind of smooth out the process a little bit. But everything is one thing at a time. One thing at a time.
That's
All right.
it.
So heck, now I'm ready, bro.
Let's do it. So, we on this podcast, y'all, we want to talk about accountability. We want to talk about, self improvement, um, peace of mind. We want to hear what y'all got to think, but we also want to create peace and harmony within that mindset too. So peace of mind. However, however y'all want to hear that. Yes, I meant that. So, um, something that Frankie and I had discussed in our other group is our children. These beautiful things we create, man. These
Yeah.
probably our best creations next to boundaries, man. Nas said that too, by the way. My greatest creation next to my children, man, is boundaries. But my children, gosh, for all of us that have children, thinking of having children, don't care for them, hey, that's fine. There's children all over the planet. Whether they're yours or mine, we're going to take care of them. That's what we're going to do. That's how we get better.
Yeah.
And so as far as the topic goes, we wanted to talk about just kind of instilling good practice. And good practice comes from having certain kinds of conversations.
Oh yeah.
And these conversations are very necessary. And well, I mean, without them, it gets messy. And the thing specifically that I'm talking about is having the talk,
The talk.
the big
Have you
one,
guys
y'all.
done that with your kids, man? Have your
Yes, and
parents done that with you?
let us know.
Yeah,
We're
for real.
curious about that. That's a big
I,
one.
I don't recall having the talk for real.
Mm-mm.
I've been I recall being told what not to do, but I
What
learned best the
not to
hard way.
do? Yep.
I learned best the hard way. I
I
got
mean,
two kids to show for
a lot of us do, But let me just go ahead and give y'all an example. So, I mentioned before I've got a 13-year-old, and a topic came up in school that this was going to be something that was going to be discussed. And I'm an open-minded parent, man. I feel like, what, if there's curse words in music, it's there for a purpose. It's expressionism. You got to be able to kind of let yourself be who you are. And so if you've got vulgar language, hey, that's okay. I trust you more, kind of. I like vulgar language. But
it.
the topic here is about sex and all that good stuff with the youth. And I mean, come on, y'all. We were all young and curious, And so I had this conversation with my 13-year-old, and man, let me tell you, I saw this boy. He glued his ass to the seat and was wide eyed and fully focused. Man, he did not break concentration, and it was cool to see that. And I opened the conversation gently, if you will, and just kind of exposed him to the reality of how often it exists and what actually comes from it, and not just babies, and not just bad things. I explained that to him too. Of course, there's that yin, that yang, that balance, y'all. We need that in our lives. I explained to him that we are one of the few species on this planet that do that for pleasure. So I explained all the good things that come with that too. And I allowed him to kind of take all of that information and then process it the way he needs to, because as Frankie and I have said to y'all, and you're gonna hear this over and over on the podcast, this life is about perspective, and the more perspective you have, the better it will be. The more information you can walk into something with confidence and with peace of mind,
Peace of mind.
because we share a piece of our mind, of your mind. So all this, that conversation was beautiful. It was the best conversation I had had in my entire life. And I've had some amazing conversations. But to have that one about something so heavy with someone I brought here to this realm of existence, that conversation was the most beautiful one I ever had, y'all. And so, like Frankie was asking, did you guys have that conversation? Did you have it with your parents? Did you have it with your children?
Word.
You need to have that conversation going forward. Make it a mission, everybody. And if there are some youngins out there that are listening, ask your parents,
Word.
talk to
Badger
them,
them.
badger them for real. It's important to know it, and we're allowed to. You know what I'm saying? That's the best part about it, is that's how we're even here, man. Somebody got happy, met somebody, did some things, and you know what? 36 years later, y'all got Frankie and Hector up on the podcast. So, you know what I'm saying? So have the conversations and make them beautiful. Make them just something that you can enjoy. Give them some of the good. Don't scare them. Don't scare them, y'all. Because when you scare them, you know that you come in with a lot of anxieties. You know, that's what fear does, man. Fear creates anxiety. So don't do that. Come in however you think your child needs to hear it in the best voice that you can deliver it. And I believe in y'all to be able to do that. So Frank, yeah, I had the conversation and I told you, all the good bits, how all that. Have you had this conversation with your boys? You got two
Hey
of them,
man,
right?
listen. Yeah, okay. It probably started about the same. My kids are 16, both of them. One of them about to turn 17. I'll tell y'all that story later. Okay. And um, they probably about when they was 13. I started having a conversation with them, and let me tell you, they wasn't as receptive as yours. It was. They were more like, "Oh, come on, Dad. Oh, really? Like, what you mean? Oh, really?" But it's funny. It's funny you say, like, don't make them fearful. Don't. It's it's part of life, man. Procreation is
Mm-hmm.
part of life. Everybody in the animal kingdom do it, for real.
Yep.
Everybody, and
Yep.
like Hector said, there's only a few of them that do it for pleasure. What is it? Maybe dolphins and
I,
rabbits.
I I couldn't even tell you the other ones, but dolphins definitely.
But yeah, I had the first time must have been like 13. I had the conversation with them, and it was kind of real. I would say it was kind of. I remember it being kind of real. I can't remember the details of it. And then every year since then, it's been a little bit of here's a bag of condoms, and I can't even confirm if my kids are currently sexually active. But here's a bag of condoms, and
Mm-hmm.
and even with I like to again I don't like to lead with fear neither. You know what I mean? I like to just be real. It is what it is, man. You can make a baby. You can make a baby. You can have a great time. You can catch an STD if you're not careful. Like just keep it real with them. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? And I say that, and I'm only 30. I'm only 36, man. I could be a grandfather at any time. That's a scary thought. Okay.
Oof.
And still I'm not. And still I'm not. Chasing them down with fear. Like, oh, you better not. Although they
Mm-hmm.
know the deal, man. They gotta wait until I'm 50. I don't care how old they are, man. They gotta wait until I'm 50. Okay.
I like that. I like that. And so you were saying, Frank, you bought them like a bag of condoms and whatnot, and I think that's also a good way to to look at it. You equip them to be able to enjoy that without the worry, without all the stresses, all the other factors that come in. Now,
Yeah.
I know 99%, at what all the effectiveness and all that, but take a note, y'all, that putting into action, not leading through fear, is a form of accountability. Frankie brought these children into this world. Now they're at the age where they too can bring children in the world, and they're not that far behind when he had his children. There's not a big age difference there in that time frame. So it's it's a very real thing, man. And so, yeah, and kind of opening and broadening that topic a little bit, as far as that accountability goes. We might have talked on it a little bit, but leading with fear, is not the right way to do anything, really. Because again, we want people to be educated. And if there's concern, you're allowed to practice, the concerning aspects of what it is that you're approaching, but don't operate through that fear, because that will hold you up. That'll lock you up. And I do believe, I'm a firm believer that hesitation is what will kill people. Nothing else. It's the hesitation. The moment you set doubt in your mind of what you're going to accomplish, there's a possibility for it to exist then. And if it's in your mind and it grows like rapid fire, you're done. So it's just it's something that we have to take caution when we have conversations with people. And just to kind of explain a little further, this conversation went well with my son because we opened up about something else, and this is another topic we wanted to talk about, and it is the 5 love languages.
Oh man, I was just playing around on the phone looking for that, man. I was gonna
Yeah,
bring it up, man.
see, you're
That could
right
beat me
on
to
it.
the
You're
punch,
right on
bro.
it. So, so tell these people what they are, Frank. I'm sure a lot of them out there know it, but go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the 5 love languages, man. I'm an avid listener. I love audiobooks. But it actually really started with this book for me. Like I was never like into books. I wasn't into reading, but I was always into love, man. And I always would just like to gain a better understanding of love and how it works. And this simplified it a little bit. I don't know if it's the answer to all, but it simplified it a lot of bit, actually. You know what I mean? And now, before I read them to you guys, I want you to also think in a broader perspective, because the book, it tells you it's really about like relationships, like a wife. The guy who wrote the book, um, Jesus Christ, I want to get his name right. Gary Chapman, the guy who wrote the book, he's actually a therapist, like a relationship therapist, and he came up with this. And so I don't want you to think it's only about a relationship, like your husband and wife relationship. Like the way when I read this book, this junk became powerful to me because it was like on a personal growth standpoint. Like, do you understand if you all of us, everybody wants to be loved. You know what I mean? Everybody, it's not just me. Like love is an essential part of life. If you don't got love, then you know what I mean. You probably some little angry person or a sad person or a depressed person. Like love is what moves us. So to gain perspective, to gain an understanding of love is a beautiful thing personally. Like it don't have to be about just a single relationship. This is about all relationships with somebody you just meet, somebody you known for a long time, your kids, you know what I mean, your parents, whatever. So anyway, the 5 love languages, and I do recommend, highly recommend this book. By the way, listen to it. Um, if you guys listen to it, I like listening to it by the author usually.
Mhm.
When they read it, it's taken a little different. But the 5 love languages, the 5 love languages are, let's see, where the heck are they?
You want me to
Anyway, it's
recite it?
these love languages are acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. So that's acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Right? And
Give
I
us an
don't.
example, Frank. Give us what would you say your top 1 and 2 is?
For me, the way I like to give love, the way I like to show love, really for me, I would say it's acts of service, and I would say it's mostly acts of service. I think,
Okay. And you said specifically that's how you like to give love.
Yeah.
How do you like to receive that?
I want to say it's probably the same thing. Acts of
Mm,
service. Like I like quality time. Now all of these can resonate with all of us, but there's one of us that fill our tank more than the other usually. And
yep. Yep.
if that love language is neglected in the relationship, it doesn't usually end well. Man, I
Hmm.
would say acts of service. I would say acts of service probably. Like, you know what I mean? Just knowing like because I'm very much like I will go out my way, bro. I will go out my way. Like, um winter time comes, I'm up early in the morning anyway, man. Winter time comes, I'll get up, I'll shovel out in front of the my house. I'll clean off everybody car that live in the house, and then I'll move on down the road to Bridgeport a little bit. Go to my grandmother's house, clean off her car before she get up and go anywhere, and then I'll take a trip all the way to 20-30 minutes out to my lady house and clean up, do the same thing. That's just me. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm just so adamant about going and going. You know what I mean? When somebody say, "Hey, yo, sit down, relax, man. Let me rub your feet or something, man. I'll cook you some food. I'll cook me some food, okay? I love food.
Yeah. Hell
Is food
yeah.
a love language, bro?
I mean, it's an active service though, right? Somebody put in that
Yeah,
time to prepare it, to get it, whether they cooked it or not. They went up the street and got it from somewhere. That's someone that took the time out of the day to make sure that you got fed. So I mean, I would
word,
like to consider that an act of service for sure. Because food make
word.
us all happy, man. So I like that, Frank. I love that because you gave just some good examples of acts of service, and those are very relevant ones. Because that's something that's important to know is that how we receive it, like you were saying, they fill up the tank a little differently, between all five of them, and so knowing how you like to give it is also a way to fill that tank up, but receiving it, man, that's good stuff too. And kind of being mindful of that is pretty important. um, Knowing like what it is you want, what it is you need, and then how you can get that from your partner. You can
Come here, close
reciprocate, whatnot. All that stuff is incredibly important. And so, like for me, for example, physical touch. I love physical touch, and then quality time. And quality time could be having a conversation. Quality time could be we're working on our personal projects together and we're sharing our progress along the way.
yeah,
um, lots of little things that can occur in quality time, but that requires presence, that requires the individual to kind of be there, not just be there physically but be there mentally, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And again, a piece of your mind. Like I
yeah.
love that, I absolutely do.
Quality conversation is a what they call it, a dialect of quality time. But you go ahead, continue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So knowing, no, A, knowing what they are, that's important. There's five. And then B, knowing what they can translate to. So, Frankie's lady wants to make him a sandwich or something, and she makes not some skimpy little sandwich. I mean, she cut the avocados up, y'all. She toasted the bread. You know what I'm saying? Going ham on it. That right there, that is an act of service because
I don't eat
that's
ham though.
something I don't either. I don't either. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's an act of service. She put in the time and the effort to do that. And
Yeah.
so to touch
Hey,
on the other, like
hey, before you
affirmation.
before you get too far, man, yeah, you touch on that physical touch, man, because mine probably went right left. Okay, they went
Okay.
straight
So
left,
so
man.
yeah, so physical touch, we brought this up because we came into this conversation talking about, having that talk with your youngins. Having sex is not physical touch, but it is a dialect of,
Yeah,
you trust your partner to kind of handle your needs and you want to do the same for them. But physical touch could be like Frankie had mentioned, let me rub your feet, you know. I will do that for my lady like 9 out of 10 times before she'll even ask for one. You know what I'm saying? I offer it up because I like to give physical touch. So I will give a massage. I will feet rub. I will, you're in the kitchen. You're cooking. I know you're cooking me a sandwich or you're cooking us dinner. I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna I'm gonna touch your butt. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna snuggle you up. I'm gonna just be cutesy. I like doing that. That for me makes me feel good, and I know my partner reciprocates it well because there's always a smile on her face when she receives it. Physical touch also, like with my child, and with her daughter, my lady's daughter, having like a secret handshake. You know, we all got this little thing we do together. That's for us. You know, giving high fives. You know, when my son is getting ready to leave for the day, you know, I'll put my hand on like the back of his neck and I'll tell him, you know, I love you, man. I hope you have a good day. And that for me, that's how I think of physical touch, is just not necessarily having sexy time, but that is also a part of it because at least intimately with my partner, you know, you do all that and you make them feel good, and then, you know, sex feels good when you feel good. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking good and you feeling like your mouth is fresh, you just brushed and flossed, you know, you got the mouthwash going, you just showered, you know what I'm saying? You put on the nice PJs. Y'all know what I'm talking about out there. That makes you feel good, and you know, that's part of that physical perception. We see that, so we see it, and then we absorb that and we start to feel good too, like, oh man. And then when you come off, like, you're willing to share that with your partner for that intimacy, man, that y'all gonna have a good night.
Yeah, man.
And you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. And
And so,
I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to get into all of them because that could take up the whole show.
oh, easily.
And I definitely before I know you. There's some other things we want to touch on. Hector got the list, but before we even move on, Hector, back to the accountability for your book, growing on your book and the direction of your book. So
Mhm.
now me and Hector decided a while ago we're gonna be accountability partners, and yo, just making that decision now when I'm out all the time, like if something come up and it relates to what I know was going on with Hector, man, it's locked in there. I'm like, yo, I gotta share this with Hector. I have my younger brother here. I'm gonna call him my younger brother. I can't call him my little brother. You're a little taller than me. Can't call him my little brother. My younger brother, he was sharing with me some things he got going on. Um, and some of the interest he found with the AI, with these AI things. And guys, again, don't be scared of the AIs, man. Just try them now. Just try them.
Mhm.
Some of them sound super interesting. Like it's here, just like the cell phone. Everybody got one of these. Use the
Yep.
AI bot. They here. You know what I mean? But Brian has some information for you that I think would help. Um, for whenever you're ready. But um, I'm gonna just let Brian explain it, man, because you guys both know that talk a little better than me. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right,
Hey,
Hey, what's up, Brian?
yo, Hector, what's good, bro?
That's good, man. Real good. How you doing? You looking good, man.
Oh, thank you. I'm feeling good.
Hell yeah. I'm glad to hear that, man. So what's up? What you got for all of us?
Oh yeah. So I was telling Frankie the other day, I was doing a little bit of research on like the AI and how to, utilize it, to help spur my creativity and
Hmm.
things like that. Like for example, I came across something called Mid Journey not too long ago,
Yep. Yep.
which it allows you to you type in like imagine and then you throw a little idea out there and it'll illustrate something for you.
Right.
That one now it's like subscription based. There's no more free
Hmm.
trial for that. But I
Yep.
did come across one called Leonardo AI, which does practically the same thing.
I didn't hear that
You
one.
basically would feed it your ideas. It'll make the illustration for you. And I was looking up, ways that you can utilize that to, make uh, supplemental income. So
Mm.
people who have like Etsy stores and things like that, they use it to create like seamless patterns that they could sell on their shop or stickers or like all types of different things, which I found to be pretty cool because the one thing I wanted to do was like create like a little gallery full of illustrations and quotes that like relate to like my perspective, my viewpoints in my life.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like I can. use that in order to basically help streamline the process. I might have a certain idea, but I don't know how to properly execute it. So
Mhm.
I can feed my ideas to the AI. It'll give me some things to think about, and then if there's any that I like, I can always save them, download them, and then alter them however I like,
Mhm.
to make it my own. I mean, technically, I guess it's my idea,
Right, right. And
right? And
there's a
then
lot to
like,
be said with that, because you consider, like, in the realm we exist, there's a thing called intellectual property.
right,
And
exactly.
a lot of that is, as an artist, you'll understand it. So just for the people out there, for them to understand a little better, when you're an artist, you have to conceptualize an idea. You have to think of the idea, right? And then you
Hmm.
move from the thought of the idea over into like sketching or storyboarding. Um,
Right.
and that's a whole process. There is a lot of time that goes into that, because that's where the trial and error starts, with just simple characters, with simple scenario. And so, like Brian had mentioned, the Midjourney bot, you go ahead and slash imagine, and you give it the prompt of a cyborg alien jumping off a cliff. Like, what does that look like? Like, have we seen that? I don't know. But the AI will take the opportunity to take that prompt and use whatever it can compile from the internet, the whole internet, and create something that, like Brian was saying, we have this jumping point. We have this platform in which the ideas can grow. And that's an incredible tool. I've definitely heard of Midjourney. I've not heard of the Leonardo, and I absolutely intend to take advantage of that one and look into it. But I'm curious, Brian. So you brought that up, and you as soon as you mentioned it, you used it for inspirational. Um,
Hmm.
Frank, your brother and I, we're on here. We're talking about trying to make sure that we keep people accountable, and through that accountability comes knowledge of tools. Like knowing what to do, how to do it, kind of thing. So you used Midjourney, and you said it for inspiration. Did you use it on something recently, like by any chance?
What was that?
Did you do it on something recently, like a personal project? Were you able to go ahead and like use Midjourney for something?
Oh, so no, not yet. I basically I was just fooling around with it, the other day just to get a feel for how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I imagined was a panda bear wielding a katana, right?
Oh.
so so it created like this anthropomorphic panda bear wearing like a samurai clothing, has a katana in his hand, and it's like a ukiyo-e style painting. And I thought it was so
Oh.
cool, you
Wow.
know.
I'm sorry, anticlimactic. Umio. See, this is the stuff I didn't know. Okay, this is the stuff. This is the talk I don't understand.
Yeah, yeah. Ukiyo-e is like a Japanese art style and
Don't
stuff.
let me
Mhm.
interrupt, bro.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I decided to imagine up first. Something like a shark in the water eating a raft.
Mm.
That one came out a little funny looking. The shark had multiple mouths on one of the pictures,
Right on.
which I thought was kind of cool, but that's
I
not
mean,
what I was
hey,
looking
there's
for.
there's your next sci-fi book, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Polluted waters. There you go. So
Yeah,
so
so
tools like that, like I think are an incredible asset, man. Especially in because you, Brian, you have a degree, and you have some background knowledge and experience with digital design, multimedia design, graphic design, and so
mhm.
do I. So that language spoken, I mean, that's not only just for us designers, because that's something that we could use, gosh, on almost any platform.
Yeah,
You know.
it's really there's so many different ways you can use it. Like even if you just wanted to create like assets, like small
Mhm.
assets, like if you need a little PNG file of a piece of fruit or something, that you could just cut out the background. You have little apples and oranges, you know,
Yep.
little things like that. I came across Chat GPT. You can
Yep.
basically speak with it. You ask it questions, and you can have it write you a short story.
Yeah,
you
tell them,
know.
Yep.
tell them. That's the other
Absolutely.
thing I wanted you to tell them about. Tell them a little bit more about the short story and how people use it a lot to make short stories or whatever.
Oh yeah. So
Publish them.
like
Publish them, Hector.
you can basically bounce ideas off the Chat GPT. Be like, hey, give me a title for a children's story, and it'll give you like a couple titles. like, okay, that sounds okay, but I want something a little more compelling. And then it'll come up with a new idea for you. And then
Mm,
if one of them like piques your interest, you can be like, oh, okay, um, I want, a short story about this with like 10 chapters or something like that. So it'll
mm,
basically give you an outline, 10 chapters, the chapter titles, and then you can, from there, make it, write each chapter for you. Then you proofread it, whatever you want to change, you can change it. And then boom, you have like your little short story. And then you can use your Leonardo to illustrate all the chapters. And then
man.
you got a little
It's
short story you could upload on Amazon KDP or something and
right.
try to sell.
And so just having the opportunity for, these kinds of tools at your disposal, man. I mean, like Brian had said, you go in with just an idea, you imagine it, and then these tools, these AI bots help create a piece that all you've got to do is really just refine and polish.
Right.
And you can kind of eliminate a lot of that legwork, if you will. Never skip leg day, y'all. Don't do that. Leg day is important, but you kind of help yourself out because when we think about it, these are a lot of the things that get people caught up, and so many of the ideas that are out there never actually come to fruition because of that legwork, because they're not able to get that off the ground. They're not able to visualize it, and they don't have the means or the resources to be able to do that. So we get caught up at conceptualization, and then it just poof, it's gone. So having tools like that certainly do help kind of alleviate some of the burden, and then kind of help drive it. Now, I've read a lot about the AIs. I've been interested in Midjourney for a little while now, and I'm curious, Brian, what do you think as far as Midjourney goes and as far as the AI bot goes? Do you think that's coming for the artist's job? Do you think the human element is still necessary?
Well, that's where I feel a little conflicted, right? Because it will kind of make the artist obsolete in a way, because you can cut out the middleman. You don't have to go to a person and
Mm-hmm.
and commission them to, you know, turn your thought into a reality. You can just ask the bot to do it. And I guess it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It does like streamline things, it makes it easier for you, the individual. It could potentially take jobs away from artists, but you know, there are certain things that the AI still won't be able to it won't be able to execute the way you want it to. Um, so in that sense, it's still better to be able to interact with like a graphic designer or an illustrator when you want something like very um, particular. I would say
Mm-hmm.
something very particular. Um, but if you are like a designer or illustrator, um, you could use it to your advantage. You know, um, say someone does commission you to do a project, you can use a bot to help you, expedite the process. It can do your drafts, like storyboarding, or do a draft board for you. Then you can whittle it down with your selection process to something that you like. Make it your own work by um, using your Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever software you have, and modify it to the specifications of your client. So um, some people may be afraid that the AI can take their job away, but at the same time, it could make their job easier.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree with that 100%. And I appreciate you coming out here and letting these people know, man, because those are absolutely tools that I know exist. And I'm conflicted as well. Is it still mine if I use the help of an AI bot kind of thing? Because it's
Right.
pulling from the internet, and their internet belongs to all of us. You know what I mean? We
Right.
all have a little piece of something up on there. And so
Yeah, it was
that's where
definitely
my
something I was
conflict.
hesitant about.
Mhm.
One of my good friends, he's an illustrator, and he does like he's written his own story, and he's trying to basically get it off the ground all by himself. He doesn't have the resources to hire a team to help him
Mhm.
do that. So one of the things he has done, because he animates a lot of his work, which is very tedious. But like he
Mm.
uses the AI to create like some of the background images and the scenery, so that way he can just focus on, animating his characters
Hmm.
and trying to expedite that process for him.
Yep. Yep. And I think that's an incredible way to do that. That's he's not taking all the work out of his hands, just the parts that, like you said, are tedious. Some of the bits that, hey, anybody could draw a mountain, so let the AI bot draw a mountain. Why not?
Exactly.
And I can focus on that character and then that character's development and, all these other aspects that kind of go into creating a character and then animating the character and then having purpose for that character. There's so many different little elements that go into it. And so if the artist is able to focus just more primarily on this and that, then I feel like that does help streamline the process. And then, as far as the artist, the illustrator, the animator, I think they're still necessary because, I've seen a lot of AI bots add that little extra finger, or like you were
Exactly.
saying with your example with the shark with two mouths, I mean,
Yeah.
AI is still very early on. It is still very much so in its infancy stage.
Mhm.
And think about the internet. The internet is still in its infancy stage. I mean, we get on here and we post TikTok videos about bullshit all the time, so we're still all learning, and these tools are too, and they're just tools to learn from, to tools to grow with. So if you guys, happen to take a little piece of the knowledge from here that Brian shared, man, run with it. Cause I know I am. I do intend to use some of these tools for me too, for my own growth. And it's just a matter of when. I'm still in the development of writing like my story and kind of getting all the bones and all the foundation of it written. But
Mhm.
when it comes time to creating what these characters look like and the scenarios in which they occupy the space, I might use somebody on Instagram. I might use an AI bot. I don't know. Still up in the air. But it's a tool that's at my disposal. So again, just for all that to all this, guys, just be mindful of what's out there and don't be afraid to use it. Never be afraid to use a new tool. And have some accountability with it. Know possibly where you can go and how good it could be, how bad it could be. Just got to figure it out. You got to play with it, figure it out, learn.
Yeah, I would say, at least give it a try. A lot
At
of
least.
them offer free trials or they're just straight up free right now because they're so new in their infancy stage that you're basically beta testing it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And you can definitely use it to your advantage. It's almost like having your own little team, you know.
Yes.
You're the idea guy. Leonardo does the artwork, illustration. Chat GPT writes it out for you. You know, use all of them as an asset. Think of your bots as your team. And
Absolutely.
I think you'll definitely allow yourself to move along. Productively and
Mm-hmm.
in a more expeditious way.
I agree with that. I love it. I love it, man. That's good stuff.
I appreciate you coming in and explaining that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Brian.
absolutely.
You hear these
Thanks for
artists, man?
coming
They
in,
talking about
bro.
anybody could draw a mountain. I don't be drawing no mountains. What they talking about? They talking about, man.
You got it in you, bro. I believe in you, man. Appreciate you for coming up here,
Oh
Brian.
yeah,
Love you,
no
bro.
problem, man. It's good talking to you, Hector.
Good talking to you, man.
Hope you don't mind me coming. Hope you don't mind me calling to bother you again sometime, B.
No problem.
All right.
If there's anything I can share, happy to do so.
All right.
Awesome. Love it. Love it.
Bet.
So yeah, y'all. That's our other little brother, man. That's Brian.
Word.
Met him when we was little one. I was a little one too, man. Same thing with Frank. But
Yo, me, Hector, and Brian, bro. Me and Hector met in second grade, man. Brian came to hang out with us one day, and it was 3 peas in the pod from that.
that's it. That's it. Never change that.
Never changed, man.
So cool, man. So yeah, that's cool, man, that he came to bring that up because Frank, like, you've been telling and kind of sharing a lot of what kinds of tools and resources are available for me. Yeah, I learned something new today. I learned that there is another competitor out there because you and I had this conversation about, what do we want to subscribe to? We talked about this, y'all. Episode 1 or 2, we talked about subscription-based life now.
Yeah, yo,
That's
speaking of that, real quick, speaking of that, I'm sorry. Like my brother said, they're giving out free trials. A lot of them is beta testing. Listen, this is just my opinion. if you guys really feel that strongly about one of them, go ahead and buy into it, but try it out for a month. Don't go into the year subscription, man. These guys are competing with each other, and somebody
Hmm.
new is always coming along. Somebody new and better is always coming along after, man. You in there, you locked in for a year, man. You know,
Yep.
so
I mean, think about it, y'all. Frankie mentioned MySpace, and then now we got Facebook.
word.
Something bigger, something better. It's always coming, man. So just be mindful of that. If you all work hard for your money. So yeah, don't buy into it until you're absolutely sure. But like
Yeah,
Brian said, man, try it out. Don't be afraid to try it out.
nah. All right. I
So
apologize for like just creating a new segue, man. But I wanted to make sure you get that info.
I
Um,
appreciate it, bro. And that's what you're supposed to do, Frank. You're my accountability partner. You're supposed to make sure I stay up on the knowledge for all that. So I appreciate it.
yeah,
And
no
then we got to
problem.
share with everybody out there too, man. So maybe somebody listening has never heard of these things, and now we just opened up a completely new universe to someone. And
I
so,
hope so.
hey, if we did that, if you guys just heard something on this episode, please let us know. If you see a Facebook post, an Instagram post, if you see us post up on YouTube or Spotify, hey, leave a comment, let us know what's up, because
Yes,
that'd
let's
be
have a
cool to hear that.
conversation, man. We want to
Yep,
be engaging.
absolutely,
We're asking for
absolutely.
it, man. Give us a piece of your mind on anything. We
We
take
want it.
in we love constructive criticism as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
Beat us up, whatever.
so
Um,
I feel like our topics went from way left to way right. Like we did a, but
sorry.
that's what it is, man. It's organic. I'm all for it, and I think a lot of people out there are gonna love it too. But
I,
it ties into that accountability, though. I think in a lot of degrees, because we always talk about I can't do it because I can't do it because I don't know, I don't have the time. It really is only 24 hours in a day. Some of us have 9 to 5s. We got 2 children. Blah blah blah. It's hard, y'all. So
yeah,
having tools like that can give you some of your time back. And
leverage.
that yeah, absolutely. That leverage, man, will give you leverage over your own life. You can kind of have some of it back, and that's a form of accountability. Is just being understanding, being responsible, and knowing how to operate. And I believe in operating in efficiency, man. I really do. Um, I heard a quote. I cannot say who from, but the quote pretty much says, "Man, if you can choose to be any one thing in this life, choose to be efficient." I believe that. Because
Okay.
if you can be efficient, then you can teach someone else how to be efficient. And if you're teaching someone else, they're teaching someone else. And it's a village, y'all. It takes a village. And if we're all efficient, then that means we're all badass. And then that means we could party a little longer because we did
Word.
all the work already. I mean,
Word. Hey, so heck, I'm not sure how many more things you had on your list, man. I definitely still want to remain mindful of the people's time and closing out the
mhm.
show roughly around the time we said we're gonna do. We're gonna do 45 minutes to an hour. We may carry over a little bit, never under 45, I don't think. But we may carry over
Right,
a
right.
little bit. The one thing I wanted to make sure we share before we go is, again, guys, I told you guys we haven't came up with the official logo yet, but we have a few drawn up. Hector wants to give an early preview before we start
Certainly do.
running the polls on the social media. Please,
Yep, yep.
guys, engage with us, man. Please let us know what you think. We're gonna really check the numbers from who picked A, B, or C,
Hmm.
and the one that comes out. I like all three, so you know what? I'm actually glad it's not up to me. I'm putting it in you guys' hands.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Well.
And
Hmm.
but the one that comes out on top, that's what we're running with. So please,
All
Hector,
right.
you
So
want
I'm
you want
gonna
to?
go. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that going. So, just again, all y'all out there, keep in mind we're gonna post this up on Instagram. We're gonna get it on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify for all those that are watching us do this on Spotify. Here, this is for you. This is for us, for all of us. So, oof, I didn't want to start on C. I'll go back. I'll give y'all time.
All right.
So, option A. Um,
Oh,
I'll
TikTok
give
too. We
you a
gotta share it on TikTok.
and on TikTok. Yes.
All right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just give kind of a
For
very
all one of our
short,
followers.
all one of you. Very short description. Um, this is a piece of your mind, y'all. There's inclusivity with color. and the mind. You know, two individuals reaching for that same piece, and not out of an aggressive manner, but just something that is something we want to have because we know it's good stuff. So that's option A. Okay,
That's your mind in the middle there.
that's it. Option B, this one's a little more catered to us, but hey, you know what? I gotta have some fun with this. So I've got two young men. We like to think of that as Frankie and I, and we're going for that fruit on the tree there. That fruit, well, that fruit happens to be a piece of your mind, y'all.
Yeah, word, the brain
Um,
tree.
a brain tree, yeah, man. There's
I see
just a
the little mic in
lot
the
of
middle of
roots
the
in the
mind,
thought.
man. I think that might be one of my favorite parts right there too, man. That brain tree look
So
like a
just
tree of life a little bit there. I don't know, man.
yeah,
I
listen,
like all of them so far.
hey, so yeah, this one just, just kind of exploring a little bit more of us, kind of in some abstract ways. And then option C. Um, again, that tree, that knowledge, that sharing that fruit. And that fruit in this particular case is a piece of your mind. We're gonna say that over and over till y'all not tired of hearing it.
Hey, you know what? I think I want to keep. I don't care which one you guys pick, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think about this too. I think I want to keep that mic as the eye. I don't know. I
Mm,
like that little mic as the eye. You know, even if we don't end up picking B, man, I like the mic as the eye. If
I
anybody
like
else
it.
feel
So
differently, let me know.
I'm gonna give y'all one more go through, so you don't got to rewind the video or nothing. So I'm gonna give you again. Option A, option B, option C. So all of y'all out there, please again, let us know. Let us know what it is you want to see be our official logo. And we're really hoping for a lot of your input. And it really does matter to us because this is going to kind of help us finalize our intro and our outro, y'all. And it's good stuff. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling the process that Frankie and I, are going through. And again, another shout out again to the homie Joseph Hart. He's working on that for us. He's cooking up something fire. So we kind of need that input to kind of get that going.
Shout out,
And
Joseph.
and so, yeah, man, it's good stuff, y'all. And that we are hoping to have that available sooner than later. But, hey, it's a process. And like Frankie has been saying, that transparency, we want to grow with y'all, but we want this to be interactive and very engaging. And so your input matters to us. Your opinion matters to us. So please just let us know, y'all.
All right, and before we close out, man, just like we started with gratitude, I want to end with gratitude. Okay, I want to share with you guys again. A month ago, 2 months ago, we didn't know what would come with from this, but since we started, since we let people know about it, since we started, sharing, putting our heart back on our sleeve where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
That's our truth. I feel like the more you can wear your heart on your sleeve, the more you're living in your truth. You know what I mean? And that's what I aim to do. Even if I ain't fully there yet, that's what I aim to do. That's my goal. And
Mm-hmm.
but since we've been doing that, man, we've been getting a lot of feedback, a lot of support from different people we know and people we don't know. We got people who's
Mm-hmm.
willing to help us. And I just want to encourage somebody like, yo, put yourself out there. I don't know what it is you guys are after. I don't know what it is you guys are driving for. You guys haven't started interacting with us yet for real. Like, but when we, whatever it is, go for it, man. Give it a try. Let somebody know. They got to be. I mean, the only first person you should always believe in is believe in yourself, right?
Yourself. Yep.
But even if you got one person that believe in you, man, that's all you need. That's all you
That's
need.
it.
That's all
That's
you
it.
need, man. Yo, I'm starting to realize like this next generation, and I'm not taking a shot at anybody. There's some amazing people. There's some amazing little people, younger people in the next generation. But a lot of them are just watchers. They just like to watch. They got their
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. They zombies, man. And being accountable, like we allowed that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I allowed that. You know what I mean? But I also remember growing up, I learned from not only what I heard, what they was telling me to do or not to do, but also from what I see. And some of our elders were how can you call it What's the word I'm looking for? They wasn't living like they was talking. They wasn't walking it like they was talking it. Okay, they tell me don't drinking bad, but they be out there with the the liquor or
Yeah,
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
Do as I say, not as I do, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember all of that. So now I actually have one of my kids, my younger kids, who said he wants to start a podcast. I haven't seen him move on it yet. He got more time on his hand than I do. You know what I mean? So
But
now I'm trying to walk it too. Now, I didn't.
you
I
know what's
told him
gonna
I wanted to
happen,
start one, but now I'm trying to walk it too, man. Even if it don't, he gonna be like, yo, my dad said he gonna do it, and my dad doing it. So I
Frank.
encourage anybody, huh?
We're gonna have a bring your kid to work day, Frank. We're
From
gonna do it. Yeah.
where
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
get him started on this podcast, right? Whatever, yo,
That's
just
it.
sit down in
That's
front of the
happening.
camera, kid.
That's it. That's what
If
we're
you got
doing,
2
Frank.
people to watch, that's 2 more people that watched than yesterday. Okay,
Yes, sir.
you got 1 follower on TikTok. That's 1 more follower than you had yesterday. All
Yep.
right. Shout
Yep.
out all 1 of my followers.
Shout out to the one out there.
Oh man, I should have got their name, man. Should have got their
That'd be
name.
cool. That'd be cool.
Anyway.
We'll find it. We'll get him.
Oh,
But
anyway. Hector, you want to
so
close us out with that intro, that
I
outro,
do.
bro?
I do. Yeah. So yo, Frank brings us in, y'all. I'm gonna take us out. So just for all of you out there, so all of y'all who came through and let us borrow your time, come back next week for a piece of your mind. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out. That's a wrap, Heck, man. That was good.
That's it. That was real good, bro. They let you end it? There you go.